how long have I been doing martial arts for? So I'm kind of giving away my age here. Wow, 28 years. 28 years in martial arts. Training competitive athletes probably for the last 8 years. Training here at the Kombat Arts Training Academy, we train Sylvester Organka. He's a national champion, North American champion. We have a lot of guys who are great amateur champions, Jack Millian, Max Gretsch. Lee Kim's also an up-and-coming athlete. So these are great athletes in the Muay Thai world and K1 world. We've had a lot of guys from the UFC come through here to train here at this facility. Rob Kamen in here, Mehdi Porosky, George St. Pierre, BJ Penn, Mayhem Miller, Sean Shirk's coach, Greg Nelson. I like training with BJ Penn. I think he's amazing. George St. Pierre was an awesome instructor. Rob Kamen, very good. My personal instructor in Vancouver, Mehdi Porosky, is an awesome instructor too. Salim Asli, not really well known, but known in the JKD world, in the Filipino martial arts world. For sure, BJ Penn and GSP, I love their character. Not only are they great technicians, but they're great wholesome characters too. They love our facility. They said it's probably one of the best facilities I've seen in the whole world. It's one of the largest ones in North America. It's all encompassing. We have a lot of stuff here for the athletes. With regards to training, it's basically training for everybody, not just for the athlete, but for the normal human being too, so to speak. So we cover a wide range of martial arts. The traditional mixed martial arts, so we have boxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, but the not so popular martial arts too, like Kali, Filipino martial arts, Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee's martial arts, Sabat Boxe Français, and a lot of law enforcement training programs. My passion for the martial arts comes from a couple things. Number one, I like to have the white belt mentality. I truly think that all martial arts are practical to some degree, whether it's the actual technique, the tactics, or the training methodology. So for me, I like having the white belt mentality. I like exploring different martial arts. So I think truly everything has something to offer. What essentially motivated me to get into martial arts was purely, I had to, because I grew up in an underprivileged area, a poor area. So martial arts is a way to defend yourself and to keep yourself off the streets and keep yourself out of trouble. So the number one mentor for the martial arts, I have to actually say, is probably my students, because they challenge me all the time. So on a whole holistic view, my students actually challenge me. They're the best mentor. They're the ones that are always teaching me. You know, when I look at them, they're a mirror image of what I have to offer, and it allows me to improve on myself too.
I've been training here for 4 years now. I train Muay Thai with Joey, Sly, Dave, Brian, and them. And it's good atmosphere. I like the training, improving every single day, and Kombat Arts is the best place to train.
I think a lot of young martial artists either have one of two extremes. Either number one, they're not athletes. They're not athletic enough. So they need to develop some basic athletic skills. They need to get into the gym, they need to train. They need to train to be athletes. They need to look after their diet. So that's probably like one extreme. The other extreme, they're too much like athletes. They like to smash things and they overcompensate with speed and strength. They don't take the time to invest into the actual technique. So I see those two extremes in the martial arts for beginners. For advanced fighters, I would probably say is being set in their ways. It's really hard for them to set their training methodology, their mindset. We talk about the sports psychology mindset too, any emotional baggage they bring with them. So for them, it's basically the mindset and also any bad techniques they bring to the game. For any sport, especially for martial arts, a combat sport, I truly believe that strength conditioning is very, very important. And a couple of reasons why. Number one, if you lose in the ring or in the cage or in a self-defense scenario due to bad conditioning, that's horrible, that's terrible. Secondly too, as a prehab, to prevent these injuries, especially during training. And when you're going through transition periods between competitions, you want to keep your body busy, you want to keep your mind energized. So I think working out is really important for you too. Well, being a pro-level fighter, you know, constitutes a lot of things. Number one is discipline. There's going to be a lot of temptations along the way. So for sure, it's getting your mindset, getting your life in order. And I think that's the most important thing, because I see a lot of athletes have the technique, they may have the grit, they don't mind taking shots in the ring, etc. But do they actually have their life in order? All right, are they actually disciplined? Can they avoid all the distractions to become a professional fighter or maybe possibly a champion? You know? This is the best time to get into martial arts. This is the best time to be a professional athlete. Because I think we have the best of all worlds. We have the best stand-up arts, the best takedown arts, the best grappling arts, working in a nice synergistic system. We also have some really good nutrition programs out there. We have sports psychologists out there. We have great training methodologies. So now is the best time to get into martial arts. I think that's the biggest difference between now and athletes from a long time ago. I think fighters are actually strong athletes, not only because they look physically strong and they actually train in strength condition exercises. The training methodology for athletes is very tough. They grind away on their body a lot. So in a physical viewpoint, I think they're very strong because of what they do and the beatings they take in sparring and the beatings they take in conditioning, etc., etc. From a mindset point of view, I think they go through a lot because you have to balance all this training about 5 or 6 days a week with your family life, your own personal challenges you may have, money issues, etc., etc. So I think for myself, combat athletes are one of the toughest athletes out there because of the grind, the beating they're taking, and also to the mental challenges they have to face. Future champion, guys. Remember his name. Honestly, future champion, this guy. Hey, I'm Joy de los Reyes from Kombat Arts on StrongAthlete.com.